Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about flow, finish, and execution now, which is basically what's called the date backend. So, as the man with the plan, how do you execute the plan? Okay, so this is the backend. So, what's going on that she's not aware of? Okay, and we're going to talk about how to end the date and how to ask for the kiss. So, location number one. Okay. The purpose of location one is to get to know her, see if the chemistry is there, and see if you want to continue to location two. Very simple. Okay. So this is kind of like the tryout. And well, in the second date, same idea. Chance to get to know her, chance to go into conversation, chance to flirt a little bit, chance to continue where you left off, and then see if you want to continue towards location number two. So on the first date, you want to break the ice, point out obvious embarrassing things if they exist. For example, if you're colleagues, yeah, and you're going out on a date, there's a big elephant in the room, okay, your colleagues. And then, you can always break the ice and saying like, I just want you to know that I already fucked half of the office, so it's totally fine for dating too. It's not going to be embarrassing at all. And the trick here really is to say the worst thing that she thinks about you first. This is the trick. So yeah, I just gave you an example in the office, but it's mostly like just to say something that will break the ice. Like if let's say that you were trying to date for a long time, it didn't work out, whatever. I don't know, maybe she bailed on you once. I don't know, some drama happened. You're sitting down finally for the first time. So you look at her and you're like, so this is finally happening. Now is it? Interesting. Yeah, so just breaking the ice. And you want to, the main thing here is to apply your gaming skills. Everything you learned in module 4. Showing her a good time while finding out as much as you can to see if she matches your lists. Yeah, so your goal is to kind of show her a good time, make her laugh, make her feel good. And at the same time, you want to kind of understand, like you want to see if she's a person you want to even hang out with. This is the purpose of location 1. Okay, so you're doing the conversation, getting to know her a little bit. If you like her, let's say you had dinner, you had dessert, you have a great time, it's time to go to location 2. You can decide if you like the girl to take her to location 2. If not, you can just end the evening there. You don't have to take her to location 2 if you don't like her. You just say, hey, I gotta go. Have a busy evening. Thank you so much for the night. Have a beautiful time. If you want to drive her home, drive her home. If you want to put her up on the bus stop, put her up on the bus station. But but anyway, that's the whole purpose of date 1. Of location 1. Now, let's say that you have decided that you like her and you want to continue towards date 2. So towards location 2. So you are the leader of the date. You need to decide what it is that you're doing and when. Bear in mind, she doesn't know that there is a location 2. Okay, so here's what you do. This is a rule. Never tell her your next move. Make her discover the evening as it unfolds. So the transition from location 1 goes like this. If you decide, of course, you like her and you want to continue to location 2, you signal the staff and order the tab without asking for the lady. Watch for her reaction. Okay, so you're sitting around, you're having a conversation. She's maybe even in the middle of a conversation. You see the waitress, you go, excuse me, can I have the check, please? And then you're going to watch for her reaction. You're going to see what she's going to do. That's just an interesting thing to see. Is she upset? Is she happy? Is she indifferent? Is she like wanted to continue the evening and then she was upset because you made the check? What is she asking you? Hey, why are you ordering the check? Because he's just having such a great time. Watch for her reaction. And you tell her, by the way, yeah, I mean, there's more to do. Like, I don't want to just sit in a restaurant all day. Plan more stuff. She'll be like, what? There's more? It's like, of course. What do you think? So for her, she kind of discovers this. That's for her. It's like, wow, oh my God, no one ever did this for me before. Okay. Now, once the bill arrives, on the first date, you pay because you invited her. Okay, this is very important because there's always this debate of like, oh, da, 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 da. First date, you pay because you invited her out. But you have here another opportunity to look for signs. Is she making any notion towards paying? Now, look, I don't know what your ideology when it comes to paying, and this is completely up to you and how you see paying and how you see this whole thing. I believe that a man shouldn't pay for a woman just because he's a man. I don't think like this is legit. I think that today, if a woman makes the same money as you, it's totally fine that she sometimes buy you, you sometimes buy her. Like, I totally think it's fine. At the same time, on the first date, just because I ask the woman out, I'm going to pay because just courtesy, you know? But what I would like to see is I would like to see any willingness on her part to pay. So maybe she'll go like, hey, it's okay, let's split it. And I'll be like, no, it's fine, all good. You know, I'll take this one, you take the next one. You know, maybe she will say like, okay, but I'm getting the next one. That'll be like, for me, like, it'll be like so cool. Like, all right, sure. All right. Some women are not even interested. Like for them, it's like they're just sitting like this. Like, of course he's gonna pay. You know, it's not a red flag yet for me. But then if I see it on date 2 and then date 3 that she's not even making a notion towards paying, for me that's an awkward conversation that maybe I would like to have. Okay, but again, that's only for me because I've had already girls that thought that I should invite them just because they're girls. And sometimes, like, even women who would make more money than me would think that I need to invite them just because they're a girl. And just for me, that's just, it's a personal thing for me that I just don't think makes a lot of sense. But for you guys, like, do as you wish on that topic. Just make sure that on the first date, if you invited her out, you pay the bill. Okay? Just makes her feel good. Now, you ordered the bill, you paid. Now you're going to lead her to location 2 or to your place, depending how the evening unfolds. So if like you were really good, it's like, hey, want to come to my place? I have a guitar. What does that have to do with it? I can play you your favorite song, but you don't know my favorite song. That is irrelevant. I can play it. You know. So if you're going to your place, great. If you're going to the location 2, go to location 2. All right, location 2. So location 2 is a great opportunity for her to feel even more safe with you and for you to go deeper into the flirting game. So on location 2, you want to elicit more touch and play, as some of the barriers have already been softened and her curiosity towards you has increased if you did a good job. So if you did a good job during the conversation over on location 1, right, and you told her enough, and you may have had her tell enough stuff about her, you didn't tell everything about you. You're flirty, you were fun, you're playful, you're going for third location 2, she's intrigued. This is a great opportunity to increase play, increase touch. Okay, so you want to. So if we're going to play pool, for example, we can show her how to use the cue. We can, you know, tap her on the lower back every once in a while, and like, oh, tap her on the tricep, saying like, hey, you naughty girl, like, what do you think? You're gonna beat me? I'm gonna kick your ass. Like, play around, flirt. And here's the thing: we want to let her during this time explore the range of her emotions by feeling them herself and not by encouraging her to feel them. Okay, so in other words, if she's like feeling the hots for you and you see it, you don't need to bounce on it, or you don't need to tell her this is how she needs to feel, right? You need to kind of let her feel all of the emotions that she's feeling in this moment, whether it's confusion or attracted or being horny or being like worried or whatever. Just let her feel all of those things, because then this bottles up in her and helps her feel so much more safe around you, because that essentially tells her, hey, I can feel whatever I want and be around that guy and I still feel good and I can laugh and I can have a good time. So that makes her closer to you during location 2. And as I said, this is where flirting can get a little bit more intense. Dare to flirt, but don't overreach. So this is where you can start saying things like, "Don't, you're a bad girl, aren't you? Like you're not letting me win this, like or whatever. You know, I don't know what your kind of flirt is, but that's what I mean. You can flirt a little bit more, get a little bit more into it, but don't over exaggerate it just because you're in location 2. It's not like location 2, flirting time. Let's bang. It's not like that. Yeah. It's just a little bit more playful, a little bit more fun vibe, just so you can break some more physical barriers. Okay. So, last part of the date, I'm going to talk about hooking up. Now, we've been to location 1, we've been to location 2. I don't know, the date is about to be over. Like in most first dates, she won't be at your house on the first date. Most first dates. But let's just say that right now, you went to location 1, you went to location 2, you had a really good time, you haven't kissed yet, you drive her up to her home, and you're standing on her porch. Okay? We're going to talk about hooking up. First of all, let's define hookup. When I say hookup, and you need to listen to this closely, hookup is any type of physical confirmation that she is romantically interested in you. Listen to me closely. Physical confirmation, not verbal. And it's a confirmation that she's romantically interested in you. This means one of two things. Either you kiss her on the lips, not a kiss on the cheek, not a kiss on the nose, not a kiss on the eyes, a kiss on the lips. Either this or sex or making out. This is what I call hookup. Every date, hang out, have fun, hook up. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to have sex. Doesn't mean that you have to make out. It does mean that there has to be some sort of physical confirmation that is either a kiss or making out that shows that she's romantically interested in you. What a lot of women would do is that they would tell a guy that they, I've met several people who went out with women. They told me they went out with them, like dated them. And I'm like, how long did you guys date? And they're like 2-3 months. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they actually dated. And then after we've spoken for like 2 hours, I realized that they haven't even kissed in those 2-3 months. And then it's like, wait, what? You haven't kissed? And it's like, yeah, she always said that it's not the time and maybe it'll be the time later. And she didn't feel the moment, but she said that she really wanted to hang out with me and she said she really enjoyed my time. I'm like, dude, you were friends. You were friends. You were friends. You were interested in her. She wasn't interested in you. She was trying to be nice. This is what happened. And what a lot of guys would do is that they would date a woman for like 2, 3, 4 dates, trying to be really nice and trying to respect her boundaries and trying to, not show that they're all about her pants or getting into her pants and trying to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Like chivalrous and all that stuff. But essentially what they're doing is they're being her BFF. Okay? So maybe on the first date, okay. If you didn't kiss her on the first date, it could happen, fine. But it has to happen. It's not a goal, but it has to happen because it's the only thing that shows that she's interested. The only thing that shows you for sure that she's interested. Okay? Because what will happen mostly is that, what will happen mostly is that women say a lot of things. But during dating, and actually always, we want to observe what women are doing and not what they're saying. Okay, and hooking up is the only proof that we have that their talk is actually matching to the walk. So these are the 2 rules of hooking up. Hooking must happen by the maximum of date 3. Don't waste your time. So this means that if you went out on date 1 and she didn't kiss you, you went out on date 2, she didn't kiss you. You went out on date 3, she's not kissing you. This is a sign for you to say, okay, what the fuck is up? Are we dating? or are you just friend zoning me? If you don't want to kiss me, that's fine. But like, what's going on? If you don't want to kiss me, that's fine. But I don't want to waste. I don't want to be wasting my time. So what's the issue here? So, and maybe she'll tell you, yeah, I just have this thing that I just don't want to kiss guy after date 3, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't know. Some women have these weird rules. Okay, so it's not about pressure, but it's also about respecting your time and your money. Because if you go out with a girl 3 times with an intention towards this girl, and she doesn't reciprocate at all, and she just wants to be friends with you, so your goals are not the same. And you're not being an asshole by saying that, hey, I'm interested in you. And if you're not interested in me, then I don't want to be wasting my time here because it'll just cause me heartache. Because there's nothing more annoying than dating a girl who's not interested in you. Right? So it's not about being an asshole to ask for the hookup. It's about being respectful for your time. You're dating here. You want to find a partner. All the time that you're spending right now, let's say that you're dating right now in the evenings, yeah, and you're spending your evenings wanting to meet a partner. And then there's this one girl who just keeps rubbing you off and keeps dating you, and you really like her, but she dates you and never gives you the hookup. So like you're dating 1 date, 2 dates, and then the 3rd date, she's not, and 4 dates. Okay, that's 4 dates. That's 4 or let's say 8 hours that you could have given to someone who is interested in you, who will show you a good time. But instead, you gave off to this woman who is like being super selfish and just, she knows you're interested, but she's not reciprocating, and she's also not bothering to talk about it. So she's being dishonest with you by doing that. And you're just giving her the stage. Like, why? Why? Because she's pretty? Like, so you have to be loyal to yourself and say, hey, look, here's what I want here. If you don't want that, let me know. But I want to understand what's going on here, because if you're not attracted to me, then maybe we're wasting our time here. Okay, so this is very important to understand that you can't, if you're dating over 3 dates and you haven't hooked up, you're friends, basically. And this is the second rule. And this is a rule that I really need you to guys embody from now. You go for the kiss on every date. And I, on purpose, added this is meaningful. You go for the kiss on every date. Every date. Now, I know what you're asking. But how do I go for the kiss? Because to be honest, this is something that I got only after, like, maybe even when I was like really good with girls, the one thing that was always like an issue for me was like how to go for the kiss. I mean, I never knew really how to smooth into it. But luckily, I found the way. This is actually something that I got from Neil Strauss from the book The Game. And I have to say that this worked every time. Like, it's great, because the thing is about the kiss is that, well, look, let's just talk about it. So let's talk about the kiss test. So going for the kiss, what it means in polarity terms is, I know I'm good enough for you. Here, let me show you. Okay, a man who is afraid to go for the kiss is a man who believes he's not good enough. And if you go for the kiss, you tell her, hey, I know I'm good enough for you. Let me show you how much I know. Okay. But then again, it's never fun to go for the kiss and get the cheek. So what I would love to have come up with this, but I have not come up with this. What Neil Strauss have come up with is the kiss test, which is really, really good. Okay. Now listen, here's how it goes. When you think it's time to kiss her, yeah, here's what you do. You basically go close to her, you look in her eyes, and you ask her, hey, Jessica, would you like to kiss me? There's going to be 3 possible answers. Yes, I don't know, and no or not yet. Right? It makes sense. If she says yes, okay, you kiss her. If she says, I don't know, you say, let's find out, and you kiss her. Okay. If she says no or not yet, then you say, well, I didn't say you could. It just looked like you had something on your mind. And then you either wait or walk away. Like, you don't have to walk away. Like, you didn't have to go dramatic, like, well, it didn't say you could. It just looked like you have something on your mind. Turn around, walk away. I mean, that's just weird, you know? But if it's the end of the date and she says no, then it's like, well, all right, didn't say you could. It just looked like you really wanted to, but I guess I made a mistake. Well, have a great evening, say goodbye, say goodnight. Then she goes home and you go home. And you didn't fail because you tried. And yeah. And if it's like in the middle of the date, let's say that in the middle of the date, you feel like it's the time to kiss her, because sometimes it happens in the middle of the date. It doesn't have to happen in the end. You run the kiss test. She says, not yet, or not really. Or like something like, I don't know yet, I'm not sure. Like, well, if she says, I don't know, you kiss her. But if she says, yeah, no, or not yet, then you say, all right, no worries. Just looked like you had something on your mind. Sorry, just thought that's the time, but all good. And then you sit back and you go back to playing the game, leaning back, not trying to touch, not doing anything. Okay. You're not begging for it. You're not nothing. Okay. But this is essentially the kiss test. And you have to run it every date. Okay, once you kissed already, you don't have to do it every time. But once you kissed already, I mean, awesome. Okay, so you have to run the kiss test on every date. I'm going to repeat that 3 more times. You have to run the kiss test every date. You have to run the kiss test every date. You have to run the kiss test every date. If you have a great date and in the end you chicken out, okay, could happen once, could happen twice, but then you have to stop chickening out and have to do it. Okay, you have to do it. I realize it's uncomfortable. I realize it sucks. I realize it's scary. But this is the point where we need to take action and do it, because this is exactly you saying, I know I'm good enough for you. I know I'm good enough for this. And during that moment, you might not be thinking it, but you have to take action even though you might not be thinking it. So this is how you finish your date. Okay, so we have ran the date from A to Z, know exactly what it is that we need to do during a date and how to end the date. Now, I want to wrap up by a few more things. A successful seduction, first of all, it means we removed enough doubts and increased desire enough to be selected, right? So we got the yes. The desire is high enough, the doubt is low enough. We got the yes. While we do not aim for it as a goal, being selected and only that tells she's really interested, not her words. If she tells you that she really wants to hang out with you and you're so much fun, she really likes you, but you went on 4 days and she didn't kiss you, there is a contradiction there. Okay? So you have to watch what she's doing and not what she's saying. Now, timeframes for successful seduction are usually as follows. On the date, it's usually 1 to 2 dates. On the kiss, excuse me, it's usually 1 or 2 dates. And sex is usually 1 to 5 dates. That being said, if you've dated 6 dates and you didn't have sex yet, but you made out and stuff, I wouldn't pressure her. I would just ask her, hey, what's up? You know, because some women have the rules. Some women don't want to date a guy. Some women would date a guy for like 2 months before they have sex. Some women will date a guy for 3 months before they have sex. I don't know. And it's fine to respect the rules. I told you, hear it, and I think that women's rules should be respected, because for women, sex is a very different experience for a man. Very, very different experience. If you want to know more about it, there's a couple of books that are also in the book club. I think it's Rethinking Sex by Christine Emba, and there's The Case Against the Sexual Revolution by what's her name? Case Against Sexual Revolution. Forgot her name. Never mind. But anyway, both of them are like conservative feminists, which is very interesting. And they give a really good view on how women see sex. So that's why I'm saying that usually, we'll talk about seduction next week. It's a very morally tricky experience, but at the same time, We want to understand that some women are very, very structured and they need more time to open up. So I usually say 1 to 5 dates, because usually after 5 dates, if you didn't have sex yet after 5 dates, it means that there is something that is unnatural there and you want to kind of expose it. So whether it is she has some sexual traumas, whether it's she has a certain construct around sex, like she needs to wait X amount of months, X amount of weeks, whatever. She doesn't want to have sex before marriage. I don't know. These are things that you need to know. So it's worth asking about. Otherwise, you're just going to make out with her and get your balls blue for the rest of your dating experience, which is not fun. All right. And of course, please remember the dates are first and foremost a costly experience, both financially and time wise. This means that you want to choose carefully where you invest your time and how. Don't waste time with women who are just unappreciative to you, who are unattracted to you, who don't want to spend time with you. You just really want to be with them, but they're not interested in you. So don't waste your time there. Don't waste your money there. The dating process is cyclical in nature. The more you stick to hang out, have fun, and hook up only and only that, the more she will be interested in you and the more she will be attracted to you. Module 6 will be about mastering the cyclical nature of the dating experience, as well as seduction, bed game, and sexual energy.